Hello, my name is Paris, and I represent the sign of Libra, the sign of the scales, the balancing scales, balancing light and dark, day and night, right and wrong, left and right. You might know me from Greek mythology. I'm quite well known. I was the one who had to judge the famous beauty contest between the three great goddesses, Hera, Athena, and Aphrodite. I was called in as a young, romantic Trojan prince to judge this contest. I didn't want to. I did everything to try and avoid making this choice because I knew the consequences of my actions could be catastrophic, and indeed, of course, they were. But my role has always been to try to find a middle way between the extremes. And I was trapped in the middle, having to make this decision. And driven by love, I was such a romantic fool. I still am, perhaps. I chose love. I chose Aphrodite, goddess of love. And my reward was the hand of the most beautiful woman in the world, Helen of Troy. But the consequences of me having Helen were to be the defining moment in the history of Western culture. For Helen, of course, is known as the face that launched 1,000 ships, and it was because of me and my choice that the Trojan War began. And yet Libra, and therefore me as a Libra soul, we're ruled by the planet of love, Venus. And yet it is Venus, and the face of Venus, the face of Helen that launched 1,000 ships. There's a paradox to juggle with, and I am also, of course, as a Libra soul, very much involved with paradox. So, I kind of look after Libra people. If you're born around the time of the autumn equinox, or if you're born just after then, between about the 23rd of September and the 22nd of October, then you're in my domain. Now there's one particular soul who I'm watching very carefully just now. Now his name is also Paris. How about that? Two of us. He also has this name Paris, and maybe we have to decide who is the real Paris, because he is really quite special. He's been chosen for a great mission, for a great task. He will sit at the Order of the Round Table Zodiac on the ancient Isle of Avalon in Glastonbury in England. So Paris is one of 12 avatars, 12 Zodiac avatars who have been chosen to sit at this round table in Glastonbury. And Paris will sit at the Libra seat. And his role will be to create balance, harmony, agreement, to bring peace where there is war, and to find a middle way, and to encourage the other characters to suspend judgment when their opinions come forward very strongly. Paris will in some way have to suspend his own decision. If only I had been able to suspend my own. The paradox of Libra again. Let me tell you something about Paris. You might say, well, why did his parents call him Paris? Well, he was conceived in Paris, of course. This is why his parents unwittingly gave him the name. But he was born in England in Battle, which is a little town near Hastings in the southeast of England. Site of the Battle of Hastings, of course. How appropriate that a Libra, sign of peace, should be born in a place called Battle. Such is life. And such was Paris's life when he was young, that he was always in the middle between parents who were fighting with each other. He was always the one called to be the peacemaker, the go-between, the facilitator. And so what did he end up doing? He ended up becoming a lawyer. Now let's have a look at where Paris lives. Because it's very fascinating. All the Zodiac avatars live in an area around Glastonbury in their own sign in the Glastonbury Zodiac. Glastonbury Zodiac was discovered in the 1920s by a woman called Catherine Maltwood, who started to see figures in the maps around the Glastonbury area. And so we have this 10-mile diameter circle where we have these shapes in the landscape. Now, if we look in here, we'll see Libra. And Libra is actually marked in the Zodiac as a dove. Could also be seen as a pair of scales, but there's so much synchronicity around doves. This is a place called Barton St. David, and this is where Paris lives. He actually lives on the beak of the bird, of the dove in the Glastonbury Zodiac. That's Barton St. David, about 4 miles from Glastonbury itself, which is here. So here we are, Paris Fairbrother, born 15th October 1974, 7:02 a.m. in Battle in England. Let's zoom out and have a look at his chart. Here it is. Straight away, we see where we have to focus in the sign of Libra. Let's just have a look at what's lining up in the sign of Libra here. Here we have Paris' ascendant, Libra ascendant. And look at the planets that we have here. Sun, Mars, Uranus, Moon, Venus, Pluto. All bunching around the ascendant. An incredible stellium of planets. All in this sign of Libra. Sun and Mars in an exact conjunction. Uranus almost exact. The Moon exactly conjunct the ascendant. Venus just risen but only 2 degrees away from the Moon. Pluto in the earlier degrees of Libra. But everything in this sign. And when we look at what's happening in the sky right now, we see Saturn coming into Paris' sign. We know this is going to be a tough year for Paris, where a lot of things are going to come home to roost, and he's going to have to grow up, and he's going to have to mature. And he's going to have to deal with some things that he's really not been dealing with. Like many Librans, he's been pushing a lot of things under the carpet and trying to keep everybody happy and trying to avoid making a decision. I know what that's like. And he's going to have to make some decisions this year, and he's going to be held to account for those decisions, and he's going to have to really act with integrity in some situations where maybe he hasn't been, not because he's trying to deceive anybody, but just because he really wants to keep everybody happy and keep his options open. This year, he's going to have to make some hard choices. Let's have a look. Jupiter and Uranus. This is by transit. They're up in Aries and they're opposing his Libra sign. Pluto in Capricorn here. This is transiting Pluto. Is in Capricorn and is squaring his Libra sign. So here we have some really extraordinary unfolding situation. Pluto is actually going to make a square to his natal Pluto. This is a major life-changing situation for Paris. So let us see how this unfolds for this character. Here we have Jupiter here in Pisces, and we have Mercury in Scorpio, and Saturn there in Cancer in square. So Saturn's actually making a square to itself this year. Saturn square is also challenging. So we're going to see some things unfolding. There's a situation that the avatars are already sensing is going on, but Paris is being very cagey about it, and we don't know what it is. We think it's got to do with relationships. Aiden, the Aries character, has suggested something about his sexuality. Maybe it's got something to do with that, but we don't know because he's not saying anything. He's dancing around the issue. So Paris, good luck, man. This is your year. You're going to have to come clean with some stuff, and good luck. So, all you Libras out there, now you know you have someone looking out for you. Just track in your path. Make sure you're on track. And I'll be guiding this. I'll be posting some more video blogs online on www.zodiacavatars.com. And you can follow Paris' story. And you can see how his journey might actually unfold in a way where you can learn about your own journey. So I encourage you to engage with Paris. You can talk to him online. You can follow his blog. You can follow what happens to him. And you can learn how to express Libra energy in your life. Even if you're not a Libra, actually, it's very useful to be able to express Libra energy, understand Libra energy. So get involved. Visit the website. And I'll be coming on and you'll see some more from me. I wish you peace and harmony.